Do you want 5 simple strategies to build backlinks for your website and boost your SEO? Then stay tuned. Hey, I'm Sam Dunning, co-owner over at webchoiceuk.com and host of the Top 100 Marketing Podcast Business Growth Show. If you haven't done so yet, check out my weekly email where I'm sharing actionable website and marketing tips, useful podcasts, goodies, resources, and more each and every Monday to kick off your week with a bang. Give it a shot over at businessgrowth.email. So what are backlinks, first of all? Well, a backlink, simply put, is a link from one website to another website. Backlinks are a great way to ramp up your website's organic rankings and positionings on Google when they're done right. So backlinks are a ranking signal for Google, and depending on the authority of the website, links from some websites back to yours can be super powerful for your SEO, for your search engine optimization, and your organic position on Google. It's important to note that when you are creating links, they do have a do follow tag on them and not a no follow tag, because no follow links aren't going to be counted by search engines. So with all that said, let's jump into 5 free strategies to build up backlinks, ramp up your SEO, and boost your traffic, your sales, your revenue. Let's do it. So the first way to build backlinks for free to your website is through podcasting, which is also an awesome way to build up your PR, your brand recognition too. So you want to head to a podcasting chart-based website like Chartable. And what you want to do is click on the charts. You want to check out the countries that you're targeting. So choose one of the countries in their charts. Choose a category. So in our case, it might be marketing, but if you're in tech, you might want to choose tech, or you might want to choose IT, or whatever category you are selling to. Pick that. And then once you go into that category, then choose a podcast type, namely Apple Podcasts, but you might want to choose another one, but usually Apple Podcast takes the market share. And then you'll get the top 100 or so results, the top 100 podcasts for your target market category. Then you want to pick 50 or so, but you want to check the podcasts that are actually accepting guests, because you're going to be a guest speaker or someone from your team. The guest expert is going to be on there. And then what you want to do is check out the podcasts that accept guests and reach out to them. You want to pitch them. So if they're B2B, they're probably hanging out on LinkedIn, so you can send them a personalized request there, or you can grab their email from their website and do a nice personalized outreach. I tend to do something like this. I usually tend to listen to a little snippet of one of their shows or check them out on YouTube, and I'll say something like, let's say their name was John. Hey, John, enjoyed your recent episode on, let's say, marketing trends, especially the part on X. Would love to share some thoughts with your audience. I tend to talk about unusual ways to improve your SEO, or how to ramp up your website into a conversion machine, or why you should invest in multi-channel marketing. Would you be against having me on your show? Sometimes I say happy to return the favor and have you on. So a short, snappy pitch saying, look, this is what I enjoyed about you, and then this is how I can add value to the audience, and then a call to action. Would you be against having me on your show? Sometimes you'll have to send a couple follow-ups if they don't reply, or try and reach out to the hosts of the show in a couple channels. So for example, maybe on LinkedIn, maybe on Facebook if they're there, maybe email. So different ways to connect with them. Many of them will accept. And then once you get yourself on the podcast and you run the interview, what you can do is do the show, of course, give a great value-based show. So you build up some PR, build up some brand, have a call to action at the end where you send people to your website or landing page or email list or whatever you want to guide them to. And after the show's recorded, you need to ask the host of the show, when they build out their article page or their page on their website with the show notes, you want to ask them to put a backlink to your website for one of your target keywords. So in our case, it might be web development company, or SEO companies, or something like that. And then ask them to link back to your site. You've got a free backlink, and you've also got some free PR. So using a site like Chartable to connect with relevant podcast hosts in your industry, boost your PR, and get a backlink. That is the first way. The second way to build free backlinks is through outreach. So first and foremost, you want to take on the skyscraper technique with an article or how-to guide on your website. So you want to create a killer article page here. So for example, if you're providing CRM services, you might do something, let's say your niche was the finance industry, you might do something like how to pick the best finance CRM. So what you want to do is first off, head to Google, Search for literally that keyword, how to pick the best finance CRM. See what are the top 10 or so organic listings. Look at those web pages, look at how they're formulated. Then you want to see how you can one up all these content pieces in all ways possible, because you want to position your article, your how-to guide, your explainer as the best. So you're basically giving the best possible content in terms of value, in terms of info. So you want to one-up it in all ways possible in terms of industry expertise, in terms of offering helpful tips, in terms of both the information and quality, and also the volume. So you might want to aim for 10K plus words, depending on how many words the competitors have. You want to look for unique stats, unique data points, unique insights that the other articles don't have. So ways that you can one up them. You might want to include infographics, so awesome graphics, breakdowns. You might want to include video explainers like we're doing now. You might want to cover different angles. You might want to add podcasts. So essentially looking for all these ways that the other articles that are ranking well are missing, and then adding all those opportunities there. Once you've created your killer article that far surpasses all the competition that's ranking right now, then you want to do some outreach. You want to reach out to, perhaps you mentioned some tools, perhaps you mentioned some brands, perhaps you mentioned some influencers in the article, perhaps you even linked out to them, giving them a backlink. You can say, look, hey, I mentioned you in this article. You can email them, you can get in touch with them, and you can give them a link to it and say, would love to see if you could give me a link back. We've already linked out to you. I believe this is going to be really useful for your audience. You'll have to do this to several brands, influencers, tools, software companies, whoever you linked out to. And some of them will accept, some of them, of course, won't. And once you reach out to enough, if they believe there's value in what you offer, they'll give you a link back. Over time, this is going to ramp up your own backlinks. And then some people will actually naturally link back to you once they see the article online, because you're giving so much value. It's far superior. Perhaps you've got those unique stats there. So that outreach, utilizing the skyscraper technique to beat your competition's content and then getting links back, is another way to build free links, free quality links to your site. The third way is through partnerships. So looking for companies, agencies, brands, influencers, you name it, that offer a complementary service to yours. So perhaps not direct competitors, but maybe someone that offers something that you can add as a bolt-on, maybe a client you've worked in the past that's in a similar industry to yourself that maybe offers some kind of add-on or complementary service that your clients can enjoy. So for example, us at webchoiceuk.com, we offer websites and SEO strategies that generate leads and sales. So we might look for an analytics company, perhaps a company that offers maybe heat maps or detailed analytics software for your website, so you can identify visitor activity, identify leads and all that good stuff on the back end. So we might reach out to an analytics software company and say, hey guys, love what you're doing. We're doing X. We believe that we could complement your offerings by working together on maybe a video, maybe a podcast, maybe a how-to detailed guide. And let's create some content together. Let's boost both our SEOs. Let's perhaps build a video on how you can, the 3 top ways to use analytics to ramp up inbound leads on your websites. Maybe give them some content ideas in your outreach when you reach out to the decision makers on LinkedIn and email. Once you find a company that's happy to work with you, you create this video, you create this article, you create this awesome guide, maybe even you team up on a podcast. Then when the article goes live, you put unique articles on your website for one angle of it, and you put another guide on their website, and then you can link back to each other's company. So you create a quality backlink from them to you, and likewise from you to them. You can do this a couple of times. You can reach out to several partners, and you're basically creating free links to each other. It's great in 2 ways. It builds up, strengthens relationships with partner companies that could potentially pass you clients that need what you do, and you can pass clients to them. So great business and revenue opportunity there, and also great for your SEO because you're building links together on complementary companies' sites. The 4th way is through guest blogging. So many sites, media sites, news sites, PR sites, and more offer guest blogging opportunities. I recommend you find an industry relevant site for your industry, check how you can apply to write for them, and then either email them or perhaps find the decision maker on LinkedIn, send them a personalized invite. There's not many people do that. It's a nice way to stand out from the crowd. And then basically say, look, we're in similar industries. I can offer this kind of value, these kind of insights, this story that I believe will be of value to your audience. What's the best way to get in touch and put together this article? So one way to actually find these sites quite easily is to search your industry plus right for us. So for example, that might be CRM plus right for us. You literally search that on Google, or in our case, web design space right for us. Or you might say web design space guest article. This way I'm putting my industry keyword plus right for us, or I might put SEO space right for us. I search for that on Google. Again, use your industry keyword space right for us, or guest blogging opportunities or something similar. And then you'll find a bunch of sites, and you'll actually find their direct page where you can apply to be a writer for them. Once you get some sites, once you connect with them and they accept you to write as a guest blogger, once you've written a killer article, they will usually allow you to either put a backlink to your site for one of your target search terms, your target keywords in the article themselves, or many will just have a about the author section, which is at the end of the article, where you can put a little bio for yourself, a little description, and then a link back to your site. So make sure you check their regulations, make sure you check where you're allowed to do the backlink, add that in there. And again, a nice way. Some of these sites will have some great domain authority. So a nice way to get a quality link back to your website. And the fifth and final way to build free backlinks for your website is to use HARO sites, HARO. That stands for Help a Reporter Out. So you can check out a site like helpareporter.com, where you can basically be connected and get updates on news, media, and stories around your industry. You can start on a free plan. You'll get requests emailed across. You'll be notified for them. You can reply to any that are relevant, that you can add insights, add offering, add stories to. And if your response gets picked up by a company, you can then earn and request a link back to your site from the relevant news, PR, or media site. So again, you can simply sign up to the free plan, get notified. And if one of your stories, one of your information that you submit gets picked up, you can request a link back to your site. And there you have it. That is 5 straightforward ways to build quality backlinks for your website, boost your domain authority, boost your organic rankings in Google, your traffic, and ultimately, if done right, your leads and your sales opportunities. Hope you found this episode of use. As always, if you enjoyed it, a quick subscribe on YouTube or a rating on your audio podcast channel really means a lot and goes a long way. So thanks in advance. And with that, I should catch you on the next episode. Cheers.